All right, Sportslive, you're watching this all home. Links at the top for you. And I spent the last 4 hours working on the results and everything like that, tallying up the points, blah, blah, blah. So I finished. So I'm going to go ahead first and just show the results of week 11. Then we'll go into the week 12 picks. So give me a second. Let's go ahead and hit that share screen real quick. Again, tournament-champions.com. Link is at the bottom. If it's not, I'll plug it in. But let's go ahead and share it real quick. We're down to 136 people. 2 people quit. 1 person rage quit and said, "I didn't want to live here in the U.S. anymore." I just said, "Okay, cool." Look at that. It's already lagging. Ain't that a bitch? Hold on. Let me. Okay. So I'm gonna turn my camera off here. For some reason it lagged. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show the results real quick. Let's go ahead and look through the results. First place is Ashkin out of nowhere. 104-60 is the best record after 11 weeks of football. But like I said, there's a lot of records that Dylan is tied with them actually at 104. So they're technically both sharing first place, even though Ashton's got more points. We do have someone with 103 wins. Austin, he's right there. You got Ryan, Jake at 102 wins. So again, it's still a dog-eat-dog race. You even got Mr. Tex at 102 wins. And that's because he did really good on his picks this week. If you guys want to know how you did individually on your records, you could feel free to look. Eddie Taylor, give him a shout out. He's got 101 wins too. I mean, it's still like I said, we still got 7 weeks of picks. Give a shout out to Mr. Tex 93 real quick. He went 13-1 on his picks. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you called a lot of those upsets, but there were some upsets this week. Like, who would have thought the Lions were going to go into New York and beat the Giants? And I mean, nobody saw that coming. I sure as hell did not see that coming. This is how everybody did during the week. Eddie Taylor went 12-2, Kenneth 12-2, J Love 10-4, Scotty 11-3. That's not too bad. Gabriel went 11-3. I went 7-7, so I had a 4-game lead on Gabriel. All of a sudden, now he's tied with me. Kaufman 11-3. Raptors girl 10-4. Diamond 10-4. Shirley 10-4. Nate St. John, give him a shout out at 12-2. He went 12-2 on his picks this week. Micah Pogue went 11-3. JoJo 11-3. Golden 10-4. Ashkin 11-3, and Ashkin is in first place. Desert Eagle 90 is all of a sudden coming out of the ranks. I mean, he's trying to build his record back up because he started off good, then took a nosedive, and now he's kind of slowly climbing up that hill. Still J 11-3, JL 103, and Billy Bob went 10-4. So give him a shout out. Patrick, aka Athletic Dashy, 11-3. Shout out to him. Crazy Dog 10-4. JD Court 11-3. So I'm going to give him some shout outs to people who want double digits. Byron 10-4, Golden 10-4, JoJo and Micah Pogue 11-3. Not bad. Bob Keller, aka Ravens Red Zone, 11-3. Tyson, your king is here, 12-2. Greg went 10-4. Thanasis Dylan went 10-4. Again, Mr. Tex 13-1. That was just an incredible record. Nitro Freak went 12-2. Trent 11-3. Seth and Roachlope went 10-4. Troy, Herbert, both went 10-4 this week. And LAOG, who I talked him out of quitting for some reason. He didn't want to make videos anymore. And now he's making videos again, and he went 10-4 on his picks. So if LAOG has to quit to come back to make his record better, then maybe that's what we have to do. But yeah, these are these are the records for the week here, and then above is when they're added together. We've got 7 weeks left. 7 weeks left, and then we're going to do the playoffs. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to pan out. I sent Kev's point of view the link, so we'll see if he comes in real quick, and I'll buzz him in if I see him. But it's going to be Thanksgiving week this week. So that what that means is, everybody's going to be busy. So I've been sending all the picks out early. I sent all the college picks out early for the final week of college football. Well, the regular season, that is. And then we're doing a college playoff for my own pick'em league. And I got everything done just in time, so that way I can kind of relax the next 2 days. I don't have to worry about bothering people or anything like that. And plus, it's the holidays. I got a buddy of mine who just got married. Want to give a shout out to Justin Kelman, Division 11. He just got married to his beautiful, well, now his wife, Cheyenne Smith. They just got married. I saw your pictures on Facebook. He got married last week, if I'm correct. And I got to give the lovely newlyweds a shout out for that one. So Justin Kelm and Cheyenne Smith, bottle of water for you. Just kidding. Nah, I give you a shout out for real talk. You guys have been together for, God, I want to say, what, 7, 8 years? Y'all been together? I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. Y'all ended up I thought y'all were already married, but I guess I was wrong. But yeah, shout out to Justin Kelman, his newlywed wife, getting married last week. Give y'all a shout out. Hey, Kev, what's going on, man?
What's good, man?
Hey, man, I know this is probably the wrong time to bring this up, but did you hear about the sudden tragic death of the Green Ranger?
Yeah, I heard about it on Sunday morning, and I kind of grew up with the. I mean, like one of my childhood buddies has met Jason David Frank, and the guy's a really great guy, and it just sucks though because mental health really needs to be worked on a lot of times.
I was fortunate enough to meet him at Comic-Con in Houston about 4 years ago, and he was a nice guy.
Yeah, and he was an undefeated MMA fighter too, and he was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, what was cool is when he came out of the MMA, he came out to the Green Ranger theme.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was a really good martial artist. So,
damn. There's some fun fact. He was an MMA fighter. How many times did he fight?
Let me see. I know he wasn't in UFC, but let me see how many fights.
I didn't know he was an MMA fighter. Or was in something along the ranks of that, like mixed martial arts or something.
Let's see.
Hey, Donovan, did you know that? Did you know Jason for the Green Ranger was a MMA fighter? I didn't know that. I mean, he might have fought not in UFC, but still, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Let's see, he's won 4 amateur contests and competed in 1 pro fight. So pretty much he won 5 or 6 fights.
Nice. Yeah. Hey Dante, you want to make the NFL picks with us? I'll send you a link on your Instagram. Or fuck it, I'll send it right here, man. Fuck it, I don't care. Not too many people are gonna come on this stream anyway. Hey Dante, I put the link right there if you want to get in. Dante's cool. He's one of my Longhorn friends on YouTube, and he's an actual coach, believe it or not. He coaches Little League.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in my Vols, man. I was disappointed in my Tennessee Vols because they did really well in beating Alabama, but they couldn't beat Georgia. Now their quarterback's out for the season, and we lost to South Carolina, so that kind of stinks.
Hey Kev, do you ever get this like bad connection whenever you're on StreamYard? For some reason, whenever you show your face, it just like blacks out. You ever had that? Like it'll lag?
Once or twice.
Why? Yeah, once or twice. Why does that shit? Why does it do that? Whenever you show yourself, it lags. Like why?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe it depends on the internet, or maybe it's spotty in certain areas. I don't know.
And it's just weird because I've had buddies tell me, have you ever like had your camera on and it'll start lagging or it'll slow down? I'm like, yep. Or if you have an extra link open, like let's say like you're share screening something and it'll lag.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
I hate that shit, man. So what are your plans for Thanksgiving? Any plans in particular? Are you flying anywhere with your wife? Are y'all going anywhere? Or I mean, are you going to go to her family's in Jersey? I mean, anywhere in particular? Or are you just going to stay there?
Well, we were going to do that, and that was before my dad passed away.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear about that, man.
And so we're going to just do Thanksgiving at home, and then So yeah, we're just gonna be doing Thanksgiving at home. One of our friends is supposed to be hosting a Thanksgiving dinner later on that day, so we'll probably go to two.
And you seem, I'm not trying to like say this is a bad thing or anything, but you seem like when your old man passed away, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not saying behind closed doors, but you seem like you handled yourself pretty well. Like most people would just have like a mental, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, it well sometimes it came in waves, like in your nighttime or something like that. But I'm a lot like my dad in a sense where you know the show's got to go on regardless. Um, and I know for a fact that he wouldn't be like, hey, mope around and da 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 da. He'd be like, go out there and do it. So, and
So how was your dad when he passed away?
67.
Oh, okay. Well, what did he do for a living, if you don't mind me asking? Like what did he do before he retired?
He was a truck driver for this one company, and then he decided to become a welder for that company. Like he had a back injury in '91, stopped doing the truck driving, and then he started doing welding for until about 2015 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
And you said he had an accident?
Well, he had a bad back surgery. He had to get in '91,
Oh,
and
that
then
sucks.
2018 he ended up having a stroke that really he had a hard time coming back from. Is one of the main reasons. But actually, what's interesting is one of the cause of his death is cirrhosis of the liver. Now, when you read up about cirrhosis of the liver, it's usually about people who drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, my dad hasn't drank since 1986.
So how did he get it?
It's a mystery.
Does he drink soda? A lot of soda?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Holy fuck. Because I'm not gonna lie, I drink a lot of Diet Coke. And they say you can still get cirrhosis to the liver from that. I'm like, oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Well, man, he had a lot of things going on in that in his stomach area and stuff like that. It was like one of those things where he was too weak for them to do surgery on.
Was he like on any like prescription meds or anything like that?
They said that some of his prescription meds, he was on a bunch of them for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Prescription meds can mess up some.
Oh yeah. Prescription meds can mess your liver up.
Yeah.
I mean, like you need them, but then it kind of sucks because then you take them and it can mess your liver up. That sucks, man.
Well, I get my sense of humor and my personality from my dad. And I will say this though: anytime I used to ask him anytime the Super Bowl comes on, I'd always ask him like, "Yo, Dad, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?" He's like, "The team with the most points." I was like, "Yeah, that's true."
You know what would be fucked up if the NFL, if a Super Bowl can end in a tie?
That would be interesting.
And
Where's the
then
trophy?
Goodell comes out and he goes, since this is a tie, then you both lose.
Man, I tell you this much though. I don't know if you've seen I don't know if you've seen the art of what the new Titan Stadium is going to look like in 2026. I'm not digging it. The new stadium is going to have less seats than what Nissan Stadium's got.
Where's the new stadium going to be at in Nashville?
In the park, actually, they're building it in the parking lot of Nissan Stadium.
So what are they going to do at Nissan Stadium?
They're going to tear it down once the new stadium's up.
Man, it seems like to me like y'all stadium's gone through like 20 different names. I remember when it was LP Field.
Yep.
And then, what else was it before that?
It was called, I remember, Titan Stadium. It was LP
Yeah.
Field. It was Adelphia. Oh, back in the McNair, Eddie George, it was called Adelphia Coliseum or something like that, or Adelphia. Yeah, so they've had a different name changes. I honestly, when I look at that stadium, they could have just added some new pieces to it.
Just some upgrades.
Yeah, just some upgrades, really, honestly. And I mean, because you can fit like 68, 69,000 in Nissan Stadium. In this new stadium, you can only fit 60,000. I'm kind of like, and they're going to have a roof over it. And I'm like,
so y'all aren't going to play in the snow?
No.
Y'all are going to be a dome team?
or like it's one of those retractable stadium.
Where you can open and close it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna have upgrades to it.
They probably will, but I think what they're trying to do is because we got a draft here in 2019. I think they're trying to get to where like the NFL might do a Super Bowl here.
Oh, y'all gonna do y'all are doing a draft in 2029?
No, we did an NFL draft here in 2019.
Oh.
And I think what what Nashville is trying to do is get on the map to where a stadium can come here, like a Super Bowl can come here, and like Nashville can host the Super Bowl for like a.
That would be badass if y'all do that.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do, and that's what this new stadium looks like. Now, I'm a sucker for old school stuff. I like Nissan Stadium, but that's just. I guess it's just my thing with that.
All right, Dante's in here. I'm buzzing, man. What's up, Dante?
What's good, man? How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Who would have thought that the Lions would have came in and beat the Giants? I didn't see that. Did y'all see that coming?
I didn't think they were gonna win. I think the game was gonna be close. I thought the game was gonna be a lot closer. But hey, man, Dan Campbell is a heck of a football coach, man. You got to give him some credit. And them players out there playing hard. So just got to give Coach Dan Campbell some credit. And they got some good pieces on that team.
What about you, Kev? Did you see the Giants going in there and winning? I mean, the Lions going in there beating the Giants?
No, but what's great about the NFL is a lot of times it's unpredictable. I kind of, I feel bad for the Lions. It's almost like I want the Lions to succeed. I want the Lions to have a team where they can go to the playoffs. Wherever, that's it, you feel bad for them in a way.
All right, well, we're 17 minutes in, man. I say let's go ahead and get this show on the road. I mean, I don't have to be at work till 3, but I still got like an hour and 45 minutes to spare, so I'm not really tripping. But I guess we can go ahead and get started on this week's picks. Okay, first, before I do that, man, your Titans, Kev?
Yeah.
Man, they went in Green Bay and won. I didn't expect to see that. I thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to pull off, some sort of like they were going to make a run. You guys went in there, pounded the run. Your defense shut Aaron Rodgers down, got in his head just like the Lions did. And I got to admit, man, your Titans are pretty impressive. Like they are not just 7-3, but they are strong. I can argumentatively say they're probably at least in the top 4 of the best teams in the AFC right now. I mean, I think the Bills, Dolphins, and Chiefs are slightly ahead of you, and you can make maybe a case for the Ravens, but definitely, you're a top 5 in there. With that win, that was a big statement win.
Well, if you go back to that Chiefs game, the fact that we took them to overtime with a rookie quarterback in Malik Willis.
Oh, and he looked like garbage in that game too.
He was garbage in that game, but I look at it like I think if we would have had Tannehill, and I think we would have had a chance to do like some play action stuff, I think it could have been a different ball game. But like I said, we got Cincinnati this week, and then we got Philadelphia next week. So we'll see.
All right, well let's go ahead and get to the picks. Let's not waste any time. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the game out. We'll all take turns going first, second, and third, like alternate in between games. And then see, I already made my picks on paper, so I'm not gonna change any of my picks. But like, for example, you may pick first on the first game, then the second game you may pick second, the third game you may pick last. So we'll just alternate, kind of make it cooler. But all right, we'll go to the Thanksgiving games first. You got Buffalo Bills at Detroit. Dan Campbell says they're going to make a run. They were 1-6. Now they're 4-6. They're 3-0. He says they're going to win out, go to the playoffs. The Lions are 3-0. Impressive. They're hosting the Bills, who are a 7-3 team. They're also trying to keep a pace ahead of the Patriots, the Jets, and the Dolphins. That's a strong division there at 7-3. We'll start with Kev. Bills at Lions. Who you got and why? Or if you want to do a breakdown.
I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo on this one, even though Detroit did surprise people and beat the New York Jets. I mean the Giants, the little football Giants. I don't see Buffalo losing this because Buffalo really needs to win this because, like you said, that AFC East division is really tight right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't afford to be losing games, especially to a team they should really demolish. So I'm going to go with Buffalo.
All right, Dante, Bills at Lions. Who you got and why?
I'm actually going for the upset, man. I'm actually going for the Detroit Lions to win this game.
Oh,
I like the way they Dan Campbell is coaching these guys, got these guys out here motivated. I like the way Aiden Hutchinson played. He got ahead of interception last week, and he recovered a fumble. Swift has been playing some really good football too at the running back position. Jamison Williams starting to practice, so I like this team. I like this Detroit Lions team, but not saying Buffalo could win the game because they easily could win the game. I just like the way the Lions are playing right now, and I like the way Dan Campbell is coaching this team and having them guys come out there and playing hard. So I'm actually going for the upset this weekend.
yeah, the Lions are playing pretty good, but I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo. Just keep this one safe. Even though my gut's kind of telling me to go with the Lions. They're at home. They usually play well on Thanksgiving. But I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo on this one. I think they're trying to keep pace. I mean, I like Dan Campbell. His mode is like, we're gonna run the table and make the playoffs. I like that. It got his guys motivated at 3-0. They're gonna play hard in this game, but I think it's just a case of too little, too late. I think the Bills come in and put a damper on that one. So I'm gonna go with Buffalo, and also Donovan goes with the Bills as well. All right, next game. You can argumentatively say this is probably going to be game of the week right here. New York Giants at the Cowboys. Both are 7-3. Giants came off a loss against the Lions. Cowboys came off a big stunning win 40-3 at Minnesota. Big NFC East game. Winner of this game is trying to keep pace for at least the second place in AFC, if not maybe a shot at the Eagles, depending if the Eagles will drop some games later. Giants and Cowboys. Will start with Coach Dante. Who do you got?
I got the Dallas Cowboys. That was a statement game they played against the Minnesota Vikings. I think they feed off that statement game. I think they and especially the game is at home. I think they walk in there. The Giants are injury riddled team. They lost Wandale Robinson. Kenny Galladay can't catch the football, so I think they go in there. They batter and they beat down Daniel Jones, and they get to Daniel Jones. And I think with that running game and Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb becoming the number one wide receiver, I think everything else is going to start opening up. So I'm going for the Dallas to beat down the New York Giants, to feed off that victory off Minnesota. That was an absolute pounding they put on Minnesota, and I think they're going to do the same to the Giants.
All right, Kev, who do you got? Giants and Cowboys.
I'm gonna have to agree with Coach Dante, man. Like, that was a statement game, and the Vikings are not an easy team to beat up like that either. And I think Dallas got embarrassed against Green Bay. Dallas wanted to make a statement. I think the Giants are not as good as their record claims. I think a lot of this is just them building up a little momentum, and they had Saquon Barkley healthy for most of the season, but the game's in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
So I think Dallas will win this one. Dallas will make a statement, and I think the Giants will lose their second game straight in the season.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dallas on this one. So it's 4-0 across the board with them boys. The reason why I say that is because, like I said, I think we almost beat the Giants. My Texans did, and honestly, I didn't see anything really special about them. I went on the record saying they were the weakest 7-2 team on the board, and they dropped the game at the Lions, and now they go at Dallas. In Dallas, coming off that momentum, they're playing at home, Thanksgiving in front of their fans. Giants riddled with injuries. Cowboys playing off momentum. I think Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Gallup's going to have a good game. I'm expecting Cowboys to win. I think it's going to be a big score. I'm looking 38-13 Dallas. I think they're going to embarrass them on the center stage, and Giants are going to get exposed and drop to 7-4 in the standings. In fact, the Giants may collapse. They could collapse the rest of the way and end up falling out of the playoffs. It wouldn't playoff race, and wouldn't surprise me. I think this is the game right here where Dallas puts the nail in the Giants' coffin, and it's going to look bad for New York. I'm going to go with Cowboys.
I'll say this about the Giants: they got a really good coaching staff now, and but I don't think they're going to go anywhere as long as you have Daniel Jones as your quarterback.
All right, let's go to the final Thanksgiving game. We got the Patriots at the Vikings. Patriots came off an impressive win. They swept the Jets. They've beaten the Jets the last, 6 years? Ouch. Or 7 years now. Wow. And the Vikings came off that stunning loss against Dallas, so they kind of got shell shocked, but they're 8-2 still, second in the NFC, still on top of their division by a mile. Uh, Patriots and Vikings. I guess I'll go first. I like both of these teams. Don't get me wrong. I like the momentum New England has all of a sudden out of nowhere. They're 6-4 with quarterback controversy and everything. Vikings, of course, started off 8-1, and then they just got shell shocked in that game. However, I don't see it happening twice. I don't think lightning strikes twice here. I think the Vikings find a way to get it together. I think it's going to be a good fought game, but 24-21, I'm going to go ahead and go with Minnesota. All right, Kev, what do you got?
Both New England's a well-coached team. We all know that. New England's kind of building a little bit of momentum, but I think Minnesota got embarrassed, and I think Minnesota is going to come into this game with a statement, and they're pissed off about how the Cowboys manhandled them. So I think that they're going to make a statement, and I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one.
All right. Coach Dante, who do you got?
I'm going for the New England Patriots. The last two games that Minnesota lost, they got punched in the mouth by the NFC East, basically. They got punched in the mouth by the Philadelphia Eagles. Kirk Cousins had a abysmal game on against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they lost against the Dallas Cowboys. So when they actually play someone that's legit, they had folded and they had got extremely dominated. So Bill Belichick defense that held the Jets to 3 points, but let's be real, the Jets are not world beaters on the offensive side. They're very good on the defensive side of the ball. That's their strongest suit. But I think Bill Belichick is going to take Justin Jefferson away, and he's going to make Kirk Cousins use somebody else. And that run defense is very stout. So if they can Patriots can find a way to get a little momentum in the run game and open everything up with Matt Jones, I think they can win this one in probably a low-scoring game. So I'm going for the New England Patriots to win this game.
All right, and Donovan picks the Vikings. So we'll go ahead and go to the next game. You got the Denver Broncos at Carolina. Russell Wilson not looking so good at 3-7. They got swept by the Raiders this year. The Panthers aren't looking so good either, but PJ Walker's out. They're going forward with him. They're 3-8 as well. Broncos at Panthers. We'll start with Kev first. Kev, who do you got?
Who would ever thought that the Denver Broncos would be 3-7 with Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all. Both teams are not very good, and I guess I would have to go with the team that I feel like would have the better players, which would probably be Denver. So I'm going to go with the Broncos just because I'm kind of split on this one, but I'm going to go with Denver.
Okay. Coach Dante, who do you got? Broncos at Panthers.
Oh man, it's a tough game because both of these teams bad. I guess I'll take the Denver Broncos because last time I didn't pick nobody to win this ball game because I didn't trust anybody. But the quarterback situation from the Carolina Panthers is so bad. You can argue they need to probably get a quarterback in this coming draft. You can argue they're going to be one of the teams in the quarterback race. But I'm going for the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, they still got some weapons over there. Problem is they cannot score the ball. Their defense has been absolutely sensational, but the problem's on the offensive side of the ball and the offensive coordinator and / head coach Nathaniel Hackett. But I'm going to take the Broncos.
Wow. All right. I guess I'm a Lone Ranger here. I'm going to go ahead and go with Carolina as the upset. I think PJ Walker has a phenomenal game. I think that the Broncos are defeated. I think Russell Wilson is not in his prime anymore. I mean, I still think he's got a little tread on the tires, but I don't think it's much. I think the Broncos are going to get upset. Like, in other words, like they just look defeated. And I know the Panthers are already bad, but the Broncos just look defeated. I think the Panthers come in at home, in front of their fans. They play well. They still got a pretty good front seven in terms of their D-line. I think the Panthers will hold the Broncos. It'll be a low-scoring game. I'm looking at 2016 Panthers as my pick. All right, we'll go to the next one. Tampa Bay, 5-5 coming off the bye. And they're going to Cleveland to take on Browns. Okay, that's impressive. All right. Coach Dante, who do you got? Bucks at Browns.
I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They come fresh off the bye week. They got 2 wins in a row, so they're very confident. The bye week, they needed the bye week. They're 5-5. I think they're going to win that NFC South division. With the Saints struggling as bad as they struggling, with Carolina, with the Falcons. Falcons are playing good, but I think that Buccaneers are a little bit of a more better team. The Browns are just a dumpster fire at this point. The season has not went the way they expected to. They're 3-7 right now. Quarterback Jacoby Brissett did play a great game against Buffalo, but the problem is they can't stop anybody on the defensive side, and they have some inconsistencies with the wide receiver. You can argue Kevin Stefanski might have a pink slip at the end of the season. So I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game.
All right, and Donovan picked Broncos for the last game, by the way. He just came back to join us. Wow. I'll go next. Tampa Bay at Cleveland. I think the Bucs are going to win this game, obviously. But with the Browns, I think, honestly, Jacoby Brissett was just a mediocre quarterback at best. And to be honest with you, Browns fans are kind of saying fire Stefanski. I kind of disagree. I think that unless, Deshaun Watson, screws up, I think, to be honest with you, I think it's just a case of they need to. I think, honestly, Browns fans need to wait till Deshaun Watson screws up for them to really be able to evaluate it, because the quarterback position is the most important position on the field. Deshaun Watson's still a top 5 quarterback in the league, in my opinion. He can still throw for 5,000 yards, rush for 1,000 yards. He's had 2 of those seasons here in Houston, and that was before he left. Even on a 4-12 season with a torn meniscus, he still managed to rush for 1,000 yards and still almost throw for 4,500 that year. And they're not 45; he had 3,500, and that was just barely going into 7 games of the year. So I think, honestly, Deshaun Watson still got some juice in the tank. A lot of it's also going to depend on his weapons on receiving. I do think they're going to kick our ass when they come play us. I think Deshaun Watson's angry; he's pissed at us. And I think he's going to light the scoreboard, but I don't really give a shit because I want the number 1 pick anyway. And I need Cleveland to continue to lose so that way we can get 2 top 10 picks. So I'm going to go ahead and Cleveland's just not going to win anyway. I mean, unless Deshaun's playing, but they're just going to have to wait till Deshaun comes in. So I think this was a tank season from the beginning for the Browns. I just think Browns fans were delusional. They think that Jacoby was going to win them 7-8 games. I disagree. I think you were to get around 4 maybe, and they're at 3 right now, so that makes absolute sense. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Tampa Bay to win, and that's it. Kev, what do you got? Bucs at Browns.
Well, the Bucs are coming off that bye. They got 2 games in a row, and you had the media saying, "Oh, well, Tom Brady's overrated, and now he's washed up and stuff." Brady may not be as good as he was, but you're dealing with personal issues at home that can really affect the player.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that Tampa's going to win this game, but I feel bad for Cleveland because you would think on paper you have Myles Garrett and you have Clowney on that defense. You would think that defense would be a lot better than what they are. Mm-hmm. And Nick Chubb, I still think is one of the top 5 running backs in this league. It just sucks that he plays for Cleveland. But I do think if we would have had a healthy Deshaun Watson who wasn't suspended for all the season, I think this would have been a different Cleveland Brown team.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna go with Tampa. Tampa.
You got Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
All right. So, and then Donovan also got the Bucs. All right, we'll go to the next game. It's Baltimore Ravens 7-3 at the 3-7 Jaguars. Wow. My question is anybody on the panel picking Jacksonville? Because I sure as hell don't see the Jaguars with a chance in hell to win. The Ravens are going to run all over them, and it's just going to be a big loss for the Jaguars here. Yeah, there's no chance. I got the Ravens. Donovan's got the Ravens too. Who do you got, Kev?
Well, I got the Ravens, but I do see some things good for Jacksonville. Jacksonville does have a Super Bowl winning coach now in Doug Peterson. He's definitely a lot better than what they went through with Urban Meyer,
Yeah.
that debacle. But I don't see Baltimore losing this game. And Baltimore has a chance to get, if Buffalo and Kansas City messes up, Baltimore has a chance to get the first round bye.
Oh shit.
So you want to keep this momentum going for the wins and stuff. So I do believe Baltimore is going to pretty much dominate Jacksonville.
All right, Coach Dante, what do you got?
Um, I'm going with Baltimore, but
Okay.
if you look at Baltimore game last week, they struggled dramatically against 2-6 3-6 team. So they did lose a close game to the New York Giants, which is New York Giants is better than both the Panthers and both better than the Panthers, and they're better than the Jaguars, but they show some signs of struggling against bad football teams. So their offense is when if you can stop the run game, I
All
think
right.
Jacksonville could have a chance of winning this game. And the defense for the Baltimore Ravens has been legit since they added Roquan Smith on this football team. They got the rookie Kyle Hamilton at safety. I think Baltimore is going to win this game, but I don't think it will be easy as everybody's going to make it seem. I think it's going to be a close game, but I do think Baltimore is going to win this game because they show some sign of being vulnerability against bad football teams.
The Ravens look like one of those sleeper teams out of nowhere. Like they looked really bad at the beginning of the season, and now they just came out of nowhere and started, like slowly creeping up. It's sort of like now the Titans are a quiet 7-3 team because everybody's talking about what Kansas City, Buffalo, and Miami. Those are like the top three teams, and everybody else is kind of like a distant fourth. Is racing for the fourth best team. But man, the Ravens, Titans, Patriots coming out of nowhere as potential like sleeper teams. And depending on how the Jets finish off, you could probably add the Jets in that conversation. But I still think the Ravens are going to win. I don't think Jacksonville has a snowball's chance. Not because I hate Jacksonville, because I do. I do have hatred for them in my division, of course. But at the same time, they're just not going to win. So the Ravens are going to win. They're going to win big in this game. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Wow. That's all I got to say about this one. Houston at Miami. Jesus, Lord have mercy. I guess me and Dante will be one of the last ones to go. But Kev, you want to take it away? Texans at Dolphins.
Well, I have no love lost for Houston.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, we're AFC South rivals, so but I do think that the Texans have gotten some good pieces for the puzzle for the future, and I think that they're on the right direction of where they need to be. However, you're going into Miami, right?
Yeah.
I don't see them beating the Dolphins.
I don't think it would matter if the game was here, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Dante, you want me to go first or you go?
It don't matter.
All right, fuck it. I'll go. We're in rebuild mode. It makes 0 sense to win at this point. There's no playoff hope, which that's fine. I kind of figured that at the beginning of the year. I will say that this team is worse this year than last year. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Tyrod Taylor did win us some games, to be fair. And Davis Mills did win us, I think, 2 games last year. And I think Tyrod won, the other 3. So, of course, you can kind of make the argument, well, Tyrod kind of made your offense look a little bit better. And that is true. But if you take Tyrod out of the equation of those 3 wins, that means we've only had 3 wins in the last 2 years, and that's probably what it's going to be looking like going into next year. Davis is 3-19-1 as a starting quarterback. He's going to, on this pace, he's probably going to be either 3-26-1 or 4-25-1 because I see a win maybe against Jacksonville or the Colts, and that's pinning on where the Colts lie in the playoff position if they want to bench Matt Ryan. We could probably sneak a win against Sam Ehlinger, possibly. But to be honest with you, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if we lose out. And I think now it's just tank. I don't think this team is talented enough to win at all. I think at this position, it's all about seeing exactly where you're, what players are hustling, what players are doing that, what players are just taking off, and what players you need to get rid of. It's all about talent evaluation at this point, about draft position. So it's really no point in analyzing it past that. So for that, I'm going to go with Miami. Dante?
Well, all I'm gonna say, because I gotta get up out of here, I got a stream to do.
Okay, my
We might,
bad.
we might as well not get on the plane. We might as well just not get on the plane. I think this will be our first legit ass whooping that we're gonna take. Um, we can argue we did take one against the Las Vegas Raiders, but you think about that game, the game was really, really close in the fourth quarter to Davis Mills decided to throw an interception, a pick six. You can argue the Chargers game, but I think the game was we came back and almost could have took the lead in that game. We had to settle for a field goal, and the Chargers finally put us away on their last drive coming back down. So again, this is going to be our first legit ass whooping. But man, appreciate you for having me on.
Hey, appreciate you. Sorry we couldn't get you on here for the whole process, man.
Nah, you good, man. You good.
Stream, man. I like your streams, by the way. And you still coaching Little League?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And that's what's up, man. Yeah, keep doing your thing, man. And see you later, man. He's a cool dude.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, we were past. I mean, I think we're past that Texans Dolphins pick. So yeah, we're gonna go 1-9-1, or no, better yet, correction, 1-16-1. Sorry, my bad. Bears at the Jets. That's the next one. I guess I'll let Kev go first. You want to break this game down and pick your winner?
I feel like I thought the Bears would be better than what they were. I mean, I honestly thought that. Zach Wilson has really not stepped up much for the New York Jets, and Justin Fields hasn't really been that good for Chicago either.
No.
But the Jets have a really good defense, and I feel like that Jets defense will disrupt Justin Fields. So I'm going to go with the Jets.
I mean, both teams are. I mean, the Jets are a little bit better, but that doesn't say much. I still think offensively the Jets look like trash, but their defense looks really good. And it's managed to keep them in those games. But is it going to be able to do it in November, December? Are the Jets going to collapse? The Bears are capable of winning games. Don't get me wrong. Justin Fields looks like he could be the next Vic or Deshaun Watson, perhaps. He's got the legs to do it. He's got mechanics in his arms. He doesn't look too well. Maybe it could be the fact he's on the wrong team. I don't know. Maybe it's coaching. I don't know. But I was impressed with that one game. I don't know if it was against Dallas or the one before that. One after that, he had 160 yards throwing and 140 rushing. If he keeps that up, he could sneak in New York with a win. But I think the Jets are, again, trying to keep pace for that AFC. So go ahead and give me the Jets. You know, they're trying to keep pace for a playoff spot. So I think that'll be enough momentum for them to win at home, even though they haven't been playing well at home. But I'll give the Jets the W for that. New York Jets, and Donovan's also got the Jets as well. All right, go ahead.
I will say, but for the Bears, I feel like Justin Fields, I think it's a little bit of coaching and maybe a little bit of what he has around him. I think if you get some good key players around him and maybe better coaching, we'd probably see a better Justin Fields.
All right. We're going to go to the next one. I think you're going to like this one. Bengals at Titans. And this is there's a lot of implications here. You know, Titans, I think, pretty much are going to run away with the AFC South, but I know they probably want that bye, that first round bye. And the Bengals are 6-4. They're trying to race for a playoff position and possibly winning their division. Kev, talk about it. That's your Titans, man. You live in Nashville. Bengals at Titans, man. Let's do a breakdown of this game, man.
There is some unfinished business.
All right.
Everybody knows before they did the whole division things, the Titans were in the AFC North back in the day. So there's a little bit of bad blood. I will say this, though. The Titans are playing. They won 7 out of their last 8 games. The Titans are on a very hot streak. They're well coached by Mike Vrabel. That defense is really nasty. And I said it last year, and I'll say it again. I knew that Joe Burrow was going to struggle this year. And
Really?
a lot of people didn't believe me on it because I was like, look, I follow SEC football. I seen how he played in LSU, and I knew there was going to be a struggle with this. I know Dashy's probably going to do a hate week, and he talked about don't be talking about no Cincinnati chili, but I will say this much: the Titans smacked them around last year. Yeah, they beat us in the playoffs, but if you take away those 3 mistakes we did with Tannehill, we had 9 sacks on Joe Burrow. So I am going to go with the Titans. The Titans are going to have a statement here. They're going to go 8-3 after this, and they're going to look strong. And right now, the Mike Vrabel's got us thinking, got the boys in blue thinking, no one's talking about us. Everyone's picked against us. Everyone was picking against us before the season started. They're all like, "Oh, Matt Ryan's coming to the Colts. And Matt Ryan and the Colts are going to win the AFC South."
Colts were projected to win the division.
Exactly. So I heard it from Twitter. I heard it from TikTok. I heard it from Facebook. I heard it all season long. And now I'm sitting there like, I told you guys.
Hey, let me give ESPN a shout out. They actually predicted the Texans to go 0-17 this year, and you guys were off by 1 game, but you almost called it. Got to give you credit for trying.
Yep.
You were 1 game off. And a tie, by the way. And a tie. We got technically the tie is a loss, but yeah, basically you called us to have 0-17, and we went 1-15-1.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that's great. But I'll say this much, though. I think that we finally scored in the 4th quarter last against Green Bay. We actually looked we looked like a complete legit team against Green Bay.
Yes, you did.
If we can do that kind of thing against Cincinnati, I don't know if Cincinnati's top receiver is going to play or not. I heard he was injured. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if he's playing or not. So I'm telling you right now, the Titans got a statement, and I know that Tannehill has been probably looking forward to this game because he's like, look, I made 3 mistakes against Cincinnati. We lost the game. I think that they're chomping at the bits for Cincinnati. So
I like this game right here. Like I said, a lot of playoff implications. I know the Bengals want to keep pace with the Ravens for that division too, so I know that they're going to have a little bit of something to play for. I like the Titans. I thought that they were just going to win the South with maybe like a 9-8 record, 10-7, just a mediocre sub 500 team. I thought you would sweep our division, maybe split one with the Colts, and then of course lose to the other better teams that you got to play against. And so I thought, you just have to go 9-8 to win that division. But after that win against Green Bay, I thought Green Bay was going to decimate you guys. Thought they were going to expose you guys. I was wrong. And the Titans actually played a complete game. Actually, I would say that this is the second complete game the Titans have played because I would argue that they played a really good game against the Broncos. It was of course neck to neck. It wasn't a blowout, but I felt like the Titans played with a lot of confidence in that game, that they could compete with Russell Wilson and the Broncos, and they played a complete game on both sides of the ball. Yes, the game was close, and it came down to that last drive. But that defense really, really, really put that pressure on Russell Wilson. And that's when I started noticing that the Titans were not just going to be some sub 500 team. They could be a sleeper. And I don't even think the Titans really need a home game, even though, of course, the number 1 seed does make a big difference. But I think the Titans can win on the road, and I think winning in Lambeau Field was an example of that. Therefore, they're playing the Bengals. Bengals are a good team. They're kind of banged up this year. They're not the same Bengals as last year. I agree with that. I'm going to go with the Titans to win at home. And
I'll tell you
about Tennessee. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you this about the Titans too: is that that game against Denver and that game against Green Bay, they didn't have 8 of their they had 7 of their starters missing on defense. Their best defensive player besides Jeffrey Simmons is Harold Landry. He's been out all season. And this is the kind of statement the Titans have made even on defense.
My biggest question is for the Titans going into the end of the year, is Tannehill going to stay healthy? Is Derrick Henry going to stay healthy? Like that, to me, I think that's going to be the biggest. You can really say that about any football team because you're going into November and December. And I always said it doesn't matter what you have down on paper in August. It matters what you have down on paper in January. I keep saying this every year. Like what do you think of my roster? Well, it looks good on paper now, but let's see in December with the injuries mound up.
I'll be honest with you, Steve. In the last couple of years, the Titans have always played good against playoff winning teams. Like they beat 7 playoff winning teams last year.
Oh,
and
shit. Okay.
And 6 of those was without Derrick Henry.
So before we move to the next game, do you think it's important for the Titans to lock up home field throughout the playoffs, or does it really matter?
I don't think it matters because in 2019 we went to New England. We sent Tom Brady packing. Then we went to Baltimore. Everybody thought we were going to lose that game. We won that game. Then we went to the AFC Championship against Kansas City. Kansas City was playing on a whole different level.
Oh yeah, and y'all were winning that game 17-7.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody remembers that, but y'all had a 10-point lead, and that was when we blew that 24-0 lead. Yeah, I remember that shit. And you guys actually had a 17-7 lead. You if you would have beat them, y'all probably went Super Bowl. But then I don't know. The Niners, that would have been a good game. But
honestly, people don't remember. You guys faced them the week before us, and you guys had a big lead on them
24-0 and blew it. I know.
Yeah,
that was possibly our only chance to win a Super Bowl right there, and it went shell shocked to shit. That's all good. I guess we'll move to the next game now. Let's see. What is the next game? Okay. Falcons at the Commanders. Kev, what do you got?
Falcons are actually not playing pretty bad football. I'm actually proud of Marcus Mariota. I mean, I know a lot of people, he had some good season here in Tennessee, and then he kind of slacked off, but it looks like he's finding his place in Atlanta. The Commanders, Redskins, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they have a really good defense. That defense they got is pretty legit. This is a hard one to choose, but I'm going to go with my instinct. I'm going to go with the road team. I'm going to go with the Falcons.
All right, you got Atlanta?
I got Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a tough game. Both of these teams are around right where they should be. Washington, however, has won 5 out of their last 6 games. Wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta came and won this one, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the Washington Commanders to win at home, and they go 6 out of 7. Give me the Commanders. Damn it. All right. That's my pick. All right, we'll go to the next one. The LA Chargers. They came off a Sunday Night Football loss against the Chiefs in that interception Herbert threw. They're 5-5. So you got Washington, Donovan. I'll make sure to write that down. All right. Chargers at the Cardinals. Cardinals came off a Monday night ass whipping to the Niners, 38-10. Ouch. Kev, who do you got? Chargers at Cardinals.
I'm a little disappointed in the Chargers because I thought with them getting Caleb Mack and them having Bosa, I thought that Chargers team would be a contender for top seed in the AFC. That's how I picked them earlier this year to be that good. I still think Justin Herbert's a good young quarterback, but Arizona, I don't know what the hell's going on with Arizona. I don't know if it's Kyler Murray, if it's whatever the case it is, but I still think that the Chargers are going to bounce back and they're going to go 6-5 after this week.
All right, so who do you got?
I got the Chargers.
Oh, shit, okay. Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Chargers as well. I think the Cardinals are done for the season. I think J.J. Watt's leaving Arizona. He only had a 2-year deal with them anyway. I think there's some crazy thing. I think he's going to Pittsburgh to play with his brothers. They've been talking about that for the last couple of years. I think he could play with his brothers, or he might go on a retirement tour and sign with us for 1 year, which I don't see why that would be the case. If I'm Watt, I would probably try to go to a contender, or just go.
He can always come here. He can always come here.
Yeah, I mean, just wherever his services are needed. I don't think he wants to come here. We're rebuilding now. Maybe the year after next year, maybe if Davis is gone and they got somebody else. But I wouldn't put him in a situation like this until he for sure knows my final year is this year, and I would like to spend it in Houston. Then we could give him just a 1-year deal and let him retire here. That's where I think he maybe got 2 to 3 years left in him. Just to be an average, like defensive end or whatever. I don't think he's going to be the same. J.J. Watt, he's mounted up a lot of injuries. He's already going on 33, 34. He might have 2 years left. I could see him maybe going to a contender next year and then doing a retirement tour in Houston after that. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see if he keeps himself healthy. But, yeah, the Chargers are going to win this game. There's no doubt about it. And, yeah, so that's pretty much it with that one. What's up, Malik? Let's go to the next game. I still call them the Oakland Raiders. I don't know why, but the Vegas Raiders are 3-7, and 2 of those wins are against Denver. They travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, who are 6-4, still commanding leading it. Well, actually, they're tied with the Niners. Wow, they're both 6-4. All right, yeah. What do you got? Can Raiders play spoiler, or do you got the Seahawks winning? Who do you got, Kev?
Well, I thought this pretty much shows that Josh McDaniels cannot be a head coach. I think that really shows that to me, honestly. I think the Raiders, I thought they were going to be better, especially when they got Devontae Adams during the offseason and the Raiders went to the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
I thought they would be a little bit better. I think the Raiders are still, on paper, better than what their record shows. They just haven't proved it. But Seattle, after losing Russell Wilson, no one expected Seattle to be 6-4.
Fair enough.
And I didn't expect that. But Pete Carroll's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's a good coach. And it's going to be in Seattle, and it's a hard place to play. I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
You got Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Seattle as well. Donovan picked them as well. I honestly, I mean, it is what it is. Seattle's the better team in this one. I think the Raiders played spoiler in Denver. That was more of a divisional game, and I think it was more personal for them to come at the Broncos because that's a division game. Teams normally play each other a lot tougher when it's division rivals. But, yeah, they're not going in Seattle and winning. That Geno Smith guy looks really good, and he's like, 8 years in the league now? And it's like, wow, I never would – he's playing like he just came out of the draft. Like, I mean, you can arguably say Geno Smith is probably amongst the top at least 15 quarterbacks in the league right now. I mean, the guy's amazing, and
right,
he made that – if you would have told me Seattle was going to be 6-4 with Geno Smith, I would have told you no way. I would have said maybe 1 or 2 wins. 1 win maybe. But, 6-4, that's amazing. Seattle won off that trade. They got a bunch of assets and a bunch of picks. They gave off an agent, Russell Wilson. And Seattle definitely can make a playoff spot and contend for that division because Arizona and the Rams are out, and they're just really racing with the Niners. And if not, they can maybe contend for a wild card push. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out. But Seattle wins this game. That'll take them to 7-4. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Seattle as well. Donovan's got Seattle. So let's go to the next one. LA Rams, the Super Bowl defending champions, not looking so Super Bowl champion. The LA Rams, who are 3-7, they travel to Kansas City to take on the 8-2 Chiefs. The Chiefs actually are a team that nobody's really talking about because everybody's talking about the Dolphins and the Bills in the AFC. I think Kansas City's definitely kind of winning under the radar, even though that was expected. Kev, what do you got in this game? Rams and Chiefs.
Well, I expected the Rams to have a little bit of a fall down. I think with them not having Odell Beckham is affecting them a little bit because Stafford's playing like a Stafford. But I'm going to go with Kansas City. It's in Arrowhead. Kansas City's playing on a whole different level than everybody else is right now. Even though I hate the Chiefs, I hate them with a passion. But and I always call Patrick Mahomes because
I call him Mahomo too.
Yeah, because it's the way he walks on the field. It looks like he got fucked in the ass by Andy
Mahomes
Reid.
and his queer brother.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
his brother's also another weird looking motherfucker too. Have you seen his brother?
Yes, I have. And
I think he's one straight jacket away from going to the hospital.
Yeah.
His actual brother's queerer than he is.
As much as I hate the Chiefs, right now they're playing on a whole different level. And the Rams are really just not the Rams that we saw last year.
I hate to say this, man, but until the Chiefs are still going to be, I mean, they should probably have at least 2 or 3 Super Bowls by now. That's travesty that they don't.
Right.
The Chiefs are still, in my opinion, the best team in the AFC. And until somebody beats them, and they got to be beaten in a playoff game. I mean, which I'm not saying they can't, but they obviously had. They were beaten by the Bengals the year prior, and beaten the Super Bowl by the Bucks. I'm not saying they can't lose in the playoffs, but Chiefs look like right now the best team in the AFC right now. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs at home to beat the Rams, who are 3-7, and they just look terrible. If that makes any sense. Let's go to the next one. Saints at the Niners. The Niners are 6-4. They're also racing for that AFC West spot. And wow, this is going to be an interesting game here. Kev, take it away. Saints and Niners.
Well, I'll tell you this much: all you 49er fans who were wanting him to go with Trevor Lance over Jimmy Garoppolo because you guys hated Jimmy G. At least Jimmy G got you to the Super Bowl. He's getting you the wins, and plus that good trade they got getting Christian McCaffrey was a really good trade. I thought that helped. I thought Christian McCaffrey going to San Francisco gave them a little spark that they needed. And the 49ers are playing really good football right now. I'm going with San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Niners as well. That Caffrey trade did help them out. Not to mention that, I think Jimmy G is – I'm not saying, look, he's not winning massive amount of Super Bowls with the Niners, but let's be honest. He's part of the reason why the Niners have had a Super Bowl appearance and went to the playoffs last year in the NFC Championship game. And you got to give Jimmy G props, man. He's got to take credit. I was telling the Texans from the get-go they should have offered a trade to get Jimmy. But obviously that's not the case. The Niners would have been stuck with Trey Lance, and then they would have had some backup quarterback. They'd be looking at a tank season. Now they're looking at a potential home game playoff game. But I'm going to go with Niners to win at home. I think them and the Seahawks are both going to be a good 7-4 team. They're going to be fighting for that NFC West. It's going to be a good race for that division later on in the years. And I'm going to take the Niners. All right. We got two more games. Sunday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers are traveling to Philadelphia to take on Jalen Hurns and the Eagles. Kev, take it away.
No.
Packers at Eagles.
Well, I know this is bad because my wife's from South Jersey and she grew up being an Eagles fan, and her biological dad got family in Wisconsin, so there's also Packers fans. Nice. So it's going to be a little bit of a. I do believe Aaron Rodgers is going to come out and keep fighting because that's just who Aaron Rodgers is. I think the weakest part right now is that Green Bay defense, and Hurst is playing on a different level. He's almost got an MVP kind of season. And yes, as much as I hate to admit it, AJ Brown has really helped out that Eagles receiving core. It's in Philadelphia. That place is rowdy. I've been to Philadelphia with Mel. I know how this. We were actually there when the Cowboys were in town one time, so that was kind of funny. But I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think Green Bay is gonna play tough, but I think that this is a time where you're looking that Aaron Rodgers needs help, and Green Bay is not got the receiving core they need to help him.
All right, fair enough. This, like I said, this could be a game where Aaron's gonna try to play hard because he can beat teams that are mentally on the same level as he is. Because even though his team's not really good, but he's still a good player. You put him in any other. And this is what I said. I said the Titans should have tried to make a move to get Aaron in Tennessee. I think that would be a perfect fit for Aaron Rodgers. You got a running back. Aaron Rodgers can make great receivers out of the guys they got there, and then you got a running back in Derrick Henry. If you put Aaron Rodgers there, oh God, they'll dominate the AFC South for years to come. And he could possibly win a Super Bowl out of that and bring the Titans a Super Bowl. But until that happens, it's all hearsay. But now he's traveling to Philly to take on a pretty tough environment. I know Washington went there and won. The Eagles have been struggling the last couple of weeks. They barely squeezed out of a win in Indy. I think this is the part where Eagles are going to have to are reminded that they still have to play football at 100 speed. Instead of thinking, we're 8-0, we're just going to win out, and we don't really we could play at half speed and still win. That obviously the last 2 weeks is a reminder. I think the Eagles come out and they're going to play hard because they're playing Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They know the Packers are still going to want to try to race for a wild card spot. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I agree with Kev. They're going to win this game, man. Go ahead and give me Philly, and also Donovan's picked the Eagles as well, by the way. I wrote that down. All right, we got one pick remaining on the board. Monday Night Football. Wow, what a shit show. Pittsburgh Steelers in 3-7 travel to Indy to take on the Colts at 4-6-1. This is going to be an interesting game because the Steelers have never had a losing record with Mike Tomlin. So I know they're actually trying to win some games so that way they don't give him a losing record, but they have to get to 9 wins. So they need to win 6. Is that going to happen? Who knows? But Kev, take it away. Steelers at Colts, what you got?
Well, Pittsburgh still plays. They still play with a lot of heart because Mike Tomlin's a good coach to play for.
Yeah.
And I don't think Mike Tomlin's job's on the line because that's not.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Kenny Pickett, I think, will be a star for Pittsburgh. I just think that, it's a rookie season. You're going to make mistakes. It happens. It even happened to Peyton Manning, ladies and gentlemen, with the Colts. So the Colts, I think, are just maybe a better team than Pittsburgh right now. It's in Indianapolis. I'm just going to play it safe. I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game here. I know they want to play for Mike Tomlin because they don't want to give him a losing record, but it just is what it is. It's all records are bound to be broken. I think the Colts just on paper are the better team, and I think with Matt Ryan is still a decent quarterback that's going to get you some wins. He's going to have you around 500, and I'm gonna have to play the safe route. I'm gonna have to go Colts at home. And Donovan, of course, is going with Pittsburgh. They're going to get the win on Monday night. Yeah, that's possible. So, Kev, which game are you looking forward to watching the most? Is it your game, Bengals and Titans?
I'm looking forward to seeing what this AFC South, not AFC South, this AFC picture is looking like. Because right now you got Kansas City, you got Buffalo, you got Miami, Baltimore's right there. New England's right there. We're right there. Cincinnati's right there. Right now, I think it's safe to say that the AFC is a little bit more powerful than the NFC. I think if that's safe to say. I'm looking forward to our game, but I think the game that I'm really looking forward to seeing is I really want to see what the Lions can do with Buffalo on Thanksgiving because the Lions do play tough on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the Lions do.
Yeah, and I really want to see what Dallas and the Giants game is gonna show.
You said Dallas and the Lions game?
No, the Dallas and the Giants. I want to see how that game is. I want to see if this Dallas is going to show up that played against Green Bay, or is it the Cowboys that's going to show up that beat the Minnesota Vikings? And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Sounds good to me. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and end it here. I appreciate for having you guys on, Kev. As always, man, appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and close it out, and I got to head to work, man. Y'all take care, all right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I had to go ahead and end it now because I'm going to go ahead and I appreciate you guys for being on, man. I'll see you guys later on.